on Sundays at noon, Mondays at 9 a.m., and Thursdays at 9 a.m. on 90.1 KPFT HD2, Houston's community radio.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willis, your host here at KPFT 90.1, Houston, Texas. Folks, how's everybody doing today? We are going to have a great show. But before we get started, I have something important to say. I have something important to sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hey, it is what again? Happy birthday. 53rd anniversary of whom? KPFT 90.1 FM Houston. Folks, I got to give a big thank you to every single supporter of KPFT. You guys have kept us here so long, and we couldn't have done it without the community. And here is what we in return give back to the community. El Señor Rico is in the studio, the engineer extraordinaire. ¿Qué pasó, Señor? What's going on, Rico?
I didn't know we were celebrating a birthday today, so I'm glad I was able to make it.
Yes, today is our birthday, man. Marzo primero, March 1st is our birthday here at KPFT 90.1 FM Houston. So, folks, we've survived all this time. We're doing that 53 for 53 again. So let's get busy and go to kpft.org and say, we love KPFT. Anyway, we got a great subject for you guys today. The title of the show is Our Enslaved Minds. SCOTUS, meaning Supreme Court of the United States, to likely screw students. It is easy to save and expand Social Security. Will we get to all those topics? I don't know. Will we get to at least one of those topics? Maybe, because you know what? This show belongs to the community. This show is yours. Give us a call, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Bruce Pollard is on the KPFT chat line, and he says, we do love KPFT. Let me tell you something, Pollard. We love you, Senor Bruce. How are you doing today? And likewise to Jules Ray Winfield says, happy birthday to KPFT. And we love you too, Brother John Jules Ray Winfield. Thank you so kindly, my brother. Anyhow, folks, title of the show again, Our Enslaved Minds. SCOTUS to likely screw students. And again, SCOTUS being the Supreme Court of the United States. And it is easy to save and expand Social Security. Folks, give us a call, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. You can start calling now if you want. If there's something that's burning on your mind that you said, I wanted to talk about this before you even get started, Egberto, do so as well, 713-526-5738. There was a caller on Monday that asked me to get some information for him with regards to Social Security. And I want to refer him to HCFAT, I think it's hcfat.org. Let me pull it up and see if that's where I found. Home of HCFAT. You can go to Healthcare for All Texas. It's at healthcareforalltexas.org. Please go ahead and visit that site, sir. I can't recall your name at this point in time, but all the information you need have been nicely organized at that site. Remember, you ask the questions. If we don't have the answer at that time, we go ahead and research it for you and find it all out. 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Our enslaved minds are responsible for our current state. The Supreme Court intends to be a 6-person autocracy as it's doing with student loan debt relief. And lastly but not least, saving Social Security is not difficult. In fact, saving Social Security is easy. Let nobody fool you. Let nobody let you think that, oh, these entitlements need to be reduced or else we won't be able to pay our bills. There are two schools of thoughts. There's the MMT school of thought, or actually a bit more deeper than the MMT, monetary theory. And the other one is that somehow we need some sort of austerity. None of that is a requirement at all. In fact, I have a student of money on our online Politics Done Right show that gets upset at me because he thinks we're in a monetary system that really shouldn't have to be concerned about money. But that's another story for us to go through some other time. Anyway, breaking out of an enslaved mind is a subtitle of the first article that I wanted to discuss here. And this is what I wrote. And it's on this morning's newsletter that goes out right before the show. It says, "This morning, as I perused my different social media accounts, I came across a story that has so many meanings as it explains the current state that we are in today. A girl went to her class very, very happy. She was really happy as she entered her class because this is a class that she loved. The professor of that class has always been nice, showed a much concern for all the students. I mean, he was there for them, answering questions, backslapping. They love him. You know, it's like you have that teacher that everybody loves, that professor that everybody loves. On this particular day, the professor was in a bad mood, something uncharacteristic to him. He put all the desks in a circle surrounding his desk. And on his desk, there was a fishbowl with a goldfish in it. Now, as the kids sat down, he shouted to them as he never had before, that anyone who spoke out right now or beyond will fail the class today, or that anybody who got out of their chair for any reason would also fail the class today. He then took the goldfish out of the fishbowl and dropped it on the desk, and then he hurriedly left the classroom. Everybody in the class looked at each other with astonishment. Nobody said anything. Nobody spoke. Nobody did anything. This fish is slapping itself on the desk as it is trying to survive, trying to get some oxygen into the gill that it's not designed to breathe air but pull air out of water. So this fish is dying. And these kids are sitting around. They're doing absolutely nothing. It's like they're paralyzed. They can't move because they're told not to move. They can't talk because they're told not to talk. They'll let that fish die because to save that fish means they'll have to get out of the chair, which means they'll move, which means they'll fail. One person in that class, una persona en esa sala, got up and said, to hell with this. I am not going to let that fish die. And she picked up that fish and she threw that fish into the water. Fish saved. The professor returned to the room with a simple comment. What have you allowed the system to do to you? What have you allowed the system to do to you? It was an experiment. It was an experiment. This explains how we have allowed our wealthy minority to rule us or build their wealth on our intellect. They built their wealth on our work. They built our wealth on our service as we were given pittance in return. You know, like I said, this isn't my story. This is a story that just popped up on my TikTok account. By the way, everybody talking about TikTok and the Chinese trying to invade our privacy and all of that. That's all crap. Okay? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they all take your data. They all take your location info. And it doesn't have to be a foreign company. And a foreign company doesn't mean you any less harm than our good old other American company, because they're all capitalist companies, whether Chinese or Americans, trying to do one thing: make a dollar on you. So the big hoopla about the Chinese company and TikTok is nothing more than companies wanting to get rid of one of their competitors. Okay? Don't fall for it. All of them are extracting your data, extracting your motions, extracting your movement, extracting everything. You don't get into that fight with oh, let's stop TikTok. Oh, let's stop Instagram. The truth of the matter is, all these guys are spying on you to learn what makes you tick, to try to make you tick. But going back to the subject at hand, my dear brothers and sisters, when I saw that this morning, I said to myself, what an encapsulation of who we have become. Or maybe who we always were, that ultimately needs to change. Maybe I think the latter is more accurate. Who we have always been. And the fear has always been that we would smarten up, that we will start